All right, here we are for our first round. This is a pretty good draw. We have turn 1 Elvish Mystic into turn 2 Heir of the Wilds. All of our mana, so we're going to go ahead and keep this. Temple of Deceit. All right. So we did see Shaheen Sarani do pretty well with an Esper style deck this weekend. So it's not necessarily blue-black control, though that is also quite possible. So this actually could be a Boon Satyr as well on turn 2 if we so desire. Ooh, we're getting Despise or Thoughtseize or something. Thoughtseize, all right. We have a pretty redundant hand. My guess is my opponent will probably take something like Boon Satyr. We'll play Heir of the Wilds. Having the second Heir of the Wilds is a little awkward against Bile Blight, so we can't necessarily just sort of play it out effectively. So if I were my opponent, I'd probably be taking Boon Satyr here. There goes Boon Satyr, down for the count. And Basic Island, okay. Alright, Frontier Bivouac into Heir of the Z Wilds. And what you got for me over there? Yeah, man. So we're actually a little light on action right now, especially given that Heir of the Wilds is sort of a dangerous thing to play into a potential Bile Blight. We may have to simply because okay, so it looks like our opponent is playing Esper and not blue black, which I don't know if Bile Blight is a card that's played in those decks. Worth thinking about. It's important to just sort of be aware of the kind of cards that are typically played in in the different popular archetypes. Like knowing okay, well Shaheen played, I think he played like 2 Bile Blights or something like that. And also just there's not necessarily nearly as many ways to actually get untapped black mana. So being able to just play Heir of the Wild is reasonable. Ooh, Ashiok, okay. Ashiok's Rattleclaw and Elvish Mystic. Alright. Well, I'm just going to play this Pelucranos and attack Ashiok. Ashiok's a pretty annoying card, to say the least. The ability to, like, he's gonna go up to what, 5 on it next turn. So this is certainly a matchup where our burn is pretty bad, and we definitely want to take those out and bring in stuff like our additional counter magic and other planeswalkers. There's an Urborg, so it can. He can cast Bile Blight now. He can cast. I think I just want to send everything at Ashiok. Maybe we attack Ashiok, because if he plays, let's say he plays like a Hero's Downfall. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna attack everything at Ashiok. He plays like Hero's Downfall here. We don't want him to be able to keep Ashiok alive easily. This is where I certainly would rather have Boon Satyr than the second Heir of the Wilds. So he can possibly play like End Hostilities. So I'm just gonna say go. There's no reason to commit more to the board. My collection of dudes is pretty threatening already. And utter end. Okay. Kind of surprised that he didn't do that in combat to force me to do something else to kill Ashiok. This is a little awkward because we don't have a second red. This is not really nearly as fast enough of a clock. I'm just going to go ahead and play a second Air of the Wilds here, even though it does potentially set me up to get Bile-Blighted, or just end hostility. I feel like it's actually fairly important to be able to actually put a significant clock on him. It's like 3 a turn is just giving him so much time to find dig. Or planeswalkers or whatever. I'm guessing there's a dig coming right now. Yeah, this looks like a dig. This is certainly a matchup where the counter magic that I have, both in my main deck and in my sideboard, is going to be very, very powerful, though. Being able to apply pressure, like if this Critter's Claws, for instance, were a disdainful stroke, it's just a super, super powerful way to interact with what my opponent's trying to do. Whether it's playing Planeswalkers, whether it's trying to cast Dig through time, trying to end hostilities. It's just a extremely efficient way of dealing with most of the sort of key components of the Esper control deck. It is unfortunate that end hostilities as the removal spell, the sort of sweeper of choice, is so good against Boon Satyr, which is normally a very good sort of anti-wrath style card. But I mean, with as much counter magic as I have to be able to stop those, it feels like probably ultimately, at least if you're sideboarding, should match up quite well. And here's Bile-Blight. Yep. Alright. I'm just going to attack and morph a Phoenix. I guess I should just morph a Phoenix before attacking, in case he counters it, because then I can morph the other one. Elvish Mystic's actually fairly weak in this matchup, just because ramping into creatures when your opponent has a bunch of wrath type effects is fairly low impact and fairly. I definitely should have cast Ashcloud Phoenix or morphed it before combat. Because if he dissolves here, I want to be able to morph second Ashcloud Phoenix. So, and there's a reasonable chance he does dissolve here, which kind of puts me in an unfortunate spot the way that I played it. Just clicking through my pre-combat main phase. Excuse me. Phoenix dead. I think I want to play this here. See if he like does anything to counter it. I want to try and play Phoenix face up, so he needs to counter it. I can't just use a removal spell on it. Now that I have like an actual threat I can play here. I don't want to just like set him up to just end hostilities me and blow up my Phoenix in addition to this stuff. We do have him down to 12, which is, you know, with the Creator's Clause in our hand, you know, it's not quite in range, but it's not horrific either. And like, what are the things that could be in my opponent's hand at this point? You know, counter magic, wrath effect, probably not planeswalkers. Probably would have played planeswalkers. Is this a Ashiok? Yeah. Ooh, Knuckleblade. That's pretty rude. I still can't cast this Phoenix. Maybe I should have Kratos Claws first here. I don't know. Here, I'm gonna play this. My opponent does have end hostilities. I'm probably in a really bad spot either way. Probably wrong there, though. Oh, some sort of removal spell. Yep. My inability to actually play my Phoenix's face up has been pretty bad. Like, they've just gotten killed by, you know, straight up by downfalls when they, you know, should have been much more powerful than that. Red, blue, green. Please don't counter it. This is the creature that I would have wanted quite a while ago. It is very, very powerful against control. You know, he has to counter it, or like just removal spells don't work here because I can just bounce it back to my hand, and there's a dissolve. All right, let's kill Ashiok. I guess Ashiok doesn't die now because, you know, that guy didn't interplay. So, do you put a card in top or bottom? On top is bad for me. It's something like an Elspeth or a Sorin. Actually, Sorin's not that bad. Elspeth would be very bad for me, though. Dig would be annoying. Even has a stocked yard. I actually have you know, I did make some changes to my mana in this build, but I didn't actually take out any red sources. Actually, the same number of red sources. You know, none of these are things that is he digging? Looks like he's digging. That's bad for me. Yep, this is definitely dig. All right, this probably is going to be the point where it becomes pretty much impossible for me to come back this game. I can claw for 6. And he's only at 10. But Soren or Elspeth can end the game very quickly. He can actually cast Elspeth this turn. Come on, let's resolve this dig. So slow. Do, 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 do. My opponent only has 12 minutes left. This is game 1. I have a feeling that he's not going to be able to actually complete this match, given this pace of play. Alright, finally resolved the spell. End hostilities? Okay. Alright, well I'm gonna kill... I feel like I have to kill Ashiok. I can't just give him a Savage Knuckleblade next turn. And say go. I'm not conceding because he's going to time out. He's going to waste my time like this. Here is Elspeth or Soren. This is an Elspeth. Nope, nope. Mana burn for 5. Okay. Yep, Elspeth, sure. All right. Well, now if I had just gone to his face and not killed Ashiok, maybe that would have been better. Interestingly, but we're gonna kill Elspeth now. I actually could have killed him if I just gone to his face. Maybe that would have been better. I mean, if he had like a dissolve, he could have, played the game a lot differently. But it's like, if he has a dissolve left. But if he didn't have dissolve, I could have just killed him over the course of 2 turns, assuming that I drew that second Creative's Claw. Maybe that would have been my best way to actually potentially win the game, though. Well, now it certainly is out of reach in that sense. I wonder if that would have been I wonder if my best play would have been actually just going for his face, just thinking, okay, well, there's no way I can win against against anything but dissolve, or anything that doesn't have dissolve in it, and I'm gonna need to actually kill this is another Bile Blight, and gonna need to actually draw the another Creative Clause immediately. I don't know. It's interesting. So here, A second Sorin, okay. But yeah, I would have. I think I probably, I mean, unless his last card is just dissolve, and he didn't play the game this way, I would have won if I just fired at him, which is interesting. I don't think there's anything I can draw that can win, but I'm totally gonna go get a mountain. So yeah, this game, you know, really a lot of this game was just I didn't have that second red source to be able to actually cast face-up Phoenixes, lost my Phoenixes to removal spells, and, you know, ended up getting sort of out-resourced thanks to Dig Through Time. But sideboarding-wise, I get to take out these things which are pretty poor against him. I got one Elvish Mystic too, bringing in the other Stubborn Denial, all the Disdainful Strokes, and Planeswalkers. Maybe I do want like a Crater's Claws in my deck or something like that. What if is there anything to? I don't think there's anything to kill with the Reclamation Sage. It doesn't have like. It doesn't have Oblivion Rings or Banishing Lights, or whatever. So I think I want one Crater's Claws in my deck. And otherwise, go with this. So we have a lot of counter magic. And a lot of counter magic, planeswalkers, and efficient creatures. Seems like it should be pretty good in this matchup, so. Let's see if things line up a little bit better this time. I mean, it is possible too that if I just Crater's Claws my opponent's face, that he might have. Oh no, he couldn't have played Sorin and like, you know, lifelink to Guy that turn. Yeah, maybe I should have just faced him with Crater's Claws and hoped to draw Crater's Claws in order to actually win that game. It would have worked out with the way that it was set up, but I kind of, you know, it's possible that I basically was just playing not to lose, and I should have been playing to give myself a better out to win. Oh my god, my opponent is so slow. Even sideboarding is just taking the maximum amount of time. This guy is making me want to fall asleep. I'm just gonna like read the magic subreddit on my other monitor while I wait. All right, we'll play first. This is a totally reasonable hand. It's a little bit slow potentially, but we're gonna go ahead and keep it. It has, you know, we do get to play Heir of the Wilds turn 2, and we have some scries. Ooh, a Knuckleblade. We're definitely keeping that. So that's actually kind of interesting. I can play Heir of the Wilds now, or I can play a tap land and play Knuckleblade next turn. I think I want to play a tap land. I'm just going to play tap land. This is awkward with 3 tap lands. This is one of the reasons I don't like having this many tap lands in the stack. And may need to cut one of these temples. May need to turn like another temple into something else, because these sort of draws are super, super awkward. Just playing behind now. If we get Thought Seized, I think I do just want to play a Bivouac here. Yeah, we're just playing a turn, like multiple turns behind now. It's awkward. Yeah, we're getting Thoughtseize. We're gonna lose our Knuckle Blade. Now, the one Crater's Claws in our deck is in our hand too, so it's a little awkward, unfortunately. I really want to cut this temple now. I could change this guy to like another Shivan Reef, and I'm happy. Yep. Bottom this. We have all the lands we need at this point. Yep. Phoenix. I cast the Phoenix. So Phoenix is great here because even if my opponent has a removal spell, unless it's like Utter End, you know, our Phoenix is able to stick around. He actually can't even cast a removal spell with this mana, can he? I don't think so. Yeah, he can't cast like Bile-Blight, can't cast anything. So I could play like Heir of the Wilds or Polukranos here. Probably don't want to play Polukranos because he can play an End Hostilities next turn. Playing Heir is walks less. You know, if he does End Hostilities after I play Heir, it's not too bad, but I could sort of force him to have it. If he doesn't have, because if they don't play Heir and he just like kills this, say he like Utter Ends this, or like Drown in Sorrow is another reason not to play it. Okay, I'm just not going to play it. End Hostilities. Yep. So Phoenix comes back. Alright, let's just flip Phoenix face up and keep going. I'll just get a forest here, I think. Yeah, we have 4 red sources. This just gives us the best way to you know, play around his removal is just keep going with Phoenix. This is, I mean, Phoenix is just super powerful. Like, you know, compare it to, even if I had like a Storm Breath, Phoenix is way better because it's just eating, you know, eating removal here. And he's actually, he can't even like play like an Elspeth here. If he plays an Elspeth and ticks it up, I just attack him and kill him with Crater's Claws. He has to do something to, yeah, I'm not even like, he has to have like basically Utter End or like some sort of, yeah, Elspeth, he's just dead. If he's gonna minus it, okay, well, he knows I have this. What are you doing? I will not redirect. So yeah, look at Phoenix. That Phoenix was just so powerful that game. So incredibly powerful. Like, it made it so that, you know, his normal sort of removal suite just wasn't able to do just about anything. And there really aren't that many cards in Esper that are good against. I mean, he can be sideboarding in Prognostic Sphinx. That's pretty good against Ashcloud Phoenix. But sort of the removal plan is just bad against it. So we're going to go ahead and submit. Discard is good. Thoughtseize Despise are good against it. All right, this hand's fine. If we draw a second green source, it's actually pretty excellent because we have air into Boonsater into, you know, we did draw our one Crater's Claw that's still in our deck, which is a little obnoxious. We're gonna keep. All right, it took that game took 4 minutes off of his clock. The previous game took like 20. All right, that's a pretty good draw. All right, well, now we're a little mana shy. All right, that was pretty much the perfect draw. I think I just want to cast Boonsater right now. So you don't want him to be able to counter it. Maybe not. I guess just let him. If I let him kill it, yeah, I'm just gonna. Because if he plays like, what can he play? Yeah, I think I just want to cast this now. Or do I? Let me think. If he plays, no, I think I'll just let him kill it. I want him to play something like Sorin here, or Ashiok. And he can't actually dissipate dissolve this. He doesn't actually have a second blue right now. So that's kind of nice. All right, and we got a second red. So I think I'm just going to attack him and cast Chandra and plus it. I don't want to cast Pelucranos because I don't want to walk into an end hostilities. But right now he can't cast Dissolve. He could cast like a Hero's Downfall, but he can always cast Hero's Downfall. Maybe it's best to actually just say go. Hold on. If I just say go, like if he plays Prognostic Sphinx, I think I'm fine with that. All right. Because yeah, he can't counter this, but he could downfall it and then play like something on his turn. What is this? Disdainful Stroke? Negate. Oh, okay. Did not anticipate a negate. Maybe I should have. This could actually be bad for me now. Now if he plays like Prognostic Sphinx here and don't have the Disdainful Stroke. I did not anticipate negate. It's probably good for him to have negate in his deck to fight against my counter magic. But yeah, this could go poorly for me now. Sorin, okay. Alright, well this actually is not bad. I'm just gonna Crater's Claw his token. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Crater's Claw, token. Okay. Attack Sorin. All right, now I'm in really good shape. And I'm just going to say go. I'm not going to like play Polukranos here, I don't think. I could play Polukranos. And then I have Stubborn Denial up. And then I still have Disdainful Stroke. Maybe that's good. No, I'm just going to say go. Because now I can counter this. Oops, I shouldn't have tapped this, or shouldn't tap that, but, and now I have Stubborn Denial still. So he is all right. Was he killing this like during my upkeep? Okay. Well, that was a good draw. What is this? I'm going to counter back here. So even if he plays like Elspeth here, the Phoenix is a pretty good place for me to be. And if I have Nissa too, Phoenix is just really difficult for him to deal with. Ooh, that was a good draw too. Put top or bottom? Put on top, okay. Do like an utter end or something? Because that's one of the... It's a way to deal with Phoenix. You can also, I guess, have like Elspeth plus Sorin the following turn. You can just like kill it, then kill it again. Yeah. Phoenix is so powerful here. All right. Well, Nissa. We will make this mountain into a creature. This is so powerful here. It's like wrathing me? Okay. So yeah, even if he wraths me, Nissa just kills him next turn. He's basically dead. I don't think that there's anything you can have here. You'd have to kill Nissa and all my creatures. And there's the GG. So here we go, winner. So I mean, as I was saying in the first game, you know, the configuration of a bunch of counter magic and strong threats is it's very difficult for these control style decks to beat, and the Planeswalkers after sideboarding Nissa, you know, clearly just sort of a stone cold killer, and yeah, the Stubborn Denial was great. What is it? Disdainful Stroke was great. All the creatures, that like Ashcloud Phoenix was just the MVP here. Ashcloud Phoenix is so powerful against the Hero's Downfall, End Hostilities plan. That game, it did damage, then 8 removal spells. Previous game basically just won by itself. So yeah. Anyway, let's go on to the next match.